Oh, and I forgot light again. Hold on. There, no. Hold on. Yeah, a bit better. Just got home, and yeah, hello everybody. Hello and hello over at Rumble. Whew, yeah. Today we return to the young thug RICO-trial. And what we are returning to is the cross-examination of young YSL-Slug. Slug was on the stand. He walked on the stand on Wednesday. Spent Thursday on the stand. All the way up to lunch Monday, including a bit more after lunch. He was on the stand for a long time. The prosecution, they had their plea agreement, and finally he read from it at the end, and sometimes in the middle. And she really, really, really wanted to fish for more information. And she indicated that, among other things, that, are you talking to the defense lawyers? None of your business. Well, more or less. And a bit accusatory. Yeah, something like that. But now it's time for Brian Steele of the Steele Law Firm. That's a good name, actually. That's a real good name. But let's check him out, because I haven't really checked him out, his credentials. Now, I do know he costs a bit of money to hire. And yeah, so this is the Steele Law Firm. Brian Steele here. Let's go in and read. Yeah, he is BBA, University of Michigan. Fordham University School of Law. Public Defender, Wolf & Steele, the Steele Law Firm. Yeah. He has talked in front of the United States Supreme Court and all of Georgia District Courts, 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, Supreme Court of Georgia, Court of Appeals of Georgia. So experienced. Here's the thing. Speeches and presentations. He's been around. He's been around a lot. Yep. Yep, he's been around. And let's check here. Let's see if you can see it first. Representative cases. These are the trial acquittals and not guilty verdicts. Hold on. Oh, I can't. Oh, there. Oh. Attempted murder. Murder, not guilty murder. Directed verdict of acquittal. Here you go. It's one of the. I haven't seen that in a resume when I checked the lawyer up. So if you've been around for a while, you know that I witnessed that in the Turner case. In the Turner case with a directed verdict. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Attempt murder, assault, murder. I mean, child essay, federal drug conspiracy. So he has that conspiracy as well. Aggravated domestic. Yeah, I mean, these are. Let's make it a bit smaller. I mean, these are a lot of cases, and then dismissed charges, declined prosecution, favorable outcome. I mean, yeah, I think Mr. Steele is one of these people who, one of these lawyers, you get what you pay for, and he costs a bunch of money. So yeah, he's experienced, he's been up to SCOTUS. I mean, just to show that there might be a slight difference between public defenders and when you can afford a lawyer like Mr. Steele. Now, no shade on the public defenders. Some of the best lawyers are public defenders. Mr. Steele has been a public defender, so no shade. And definitely no shade. The public defender we all know, Mr. Steve Gosney, but he is so very specialized in capital murder appeals or death penalty appeals. But where is it? There. So why did it? Huh. Hold on while I search for the. I had it time stamped, but then it wasn't anymore. Hold on. All right, there it should be. There, sound. Let me know if sound is okay, because we are going right into the cross-examination of YSL-Slug.
Just 1 moment.
Mr. Sharp? Say again?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, Mr. Steele, go right ahead.
Is sound okay? Let me know in chat. That's a decent order. And no round of applause. These are notes. You see, I don't need to say this. I don't need this. Emphasize here. Here, these belong together. Notes out in the end. Yeah, he is prepared. Well, we can hear the paper.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Stevens, you are the youngest of 3 children to your mother. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you told us an older brother who I believe is 34 years of age. Is that right?
Yes.
And he works with Argo Cement.
Yes.
You have another older brother who he's 33, right?
Yes.
And he works with the Clorox company?
Yes.
He has older brothers who are 33 and 34. And this guy already has gray. Well, I started to turn gray quite early, so I'm not. Yeah, okay. I thought he was older than that.
And then you today are approximately 30 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And your 2 brothers and you each have different dads. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you didn't know your father at all till well into your teenage years. Is that true?
Yes.
And God forbid your mother passed when you were 18 months. Is that right?
Right.
Now, you told the jury some of your upbringing has always been in Cleveland Avenue area. Is that fair to say of Atlanta?
Yes.
And I'd like to talk about some of your education and what went on during school, all right?
Yes.
Do you remember, and I understand you're not good in math, so you just tell me if this is right or not, okay? You remember being in the 6th grade, being about 11 years of age approximately?
Yeah.
Somewhere like 11, 10, 12 years old. And you were born on April 26th of 1993. True?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're approximately 11, would you think through with me, would that be year like 2004 in the 6th grade?
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you remember your teacher doing what I'll call a science experiment in the 6th grade? And do you remember that you liked that science experiment and wanted to do it yourself? You want to duplicate it?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the chemicals didn't match up and your chemical compound exploded. You described in the past as like a bomb. Is that right?
Yeah.
And for trying to do that experiment, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury what happened to you.
I was arrested and expelled from school.
Is that the first time that you went to the what you call, I think you call it juvenile detention center? If not, just tell the jurors what you call it.
Yeah, juvenile detention.
And some of them may know what it is, but that's the jail.
Yeah.
And for juveniles, it's people under 17 and younger. Does that sound right? You can stay till older, but that's generally right.
Yeah, 21, I think. Yeah, 21, I think.
Could be up to 21 years of age and younger, right?
Yeah.
And you're in there at 11. Fair
Yeah.
to say? True.
True.
And before being taken into this juvenile detention center at age 11, you were living with your two brothers and your grandmother, your mother's mother, your grandmother on your mother's side. Is that true?
Yes.
And so, ladies and gentlemen of the jury know your grandmother, hardworking person, right?
Yes.
You still live with her. Is that at times? Is that true?
No, I stay with her.
And she worked most of her career at different laundromats. Is that true?
Yes.
And she would take in the clothing, she'd wash the clothing, she'd do whatever it takes in the laundromat, if you know what she did.
Yeah.
Okay. And because she was working so hard, if you remember, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury how many times she was able, I'm not saying she did it to be callous or mean, but how many times did she come visit you in that juvenile detention facility?
When she could.
Couldn't hear you.
When she could.
Would the answer be, and I understand when she could, but would the answer be 0?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, you spent approximately a year. Is that true in the juvenile detention center?
Yeah. I was in and out of, so my whole juvenile?
No, I'm talking about just the first time.
Oh, no, not the first time.
Were you sent home or were you put into a group home?
I eventually got sent to a group home.
Okay. And tell ladies and gentlemen jury what a group home is.
A house where a group home, a house with other like juvenile delinquents. I guess so they won't have to keep you in jail at such a young age, so they send you to a group home with other people, juvenile delinquents.
You eventually got returned to your grandmother's home and lived with your two brothers. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And if you were approximately 11 years of age when you went into the juvenile detention center in 6th grade. Were you approximately 2 years later, about 13 years of age, when you went back to school with and lived with your grandmother and 2 brothers?
Yeah, that seemed about right.
Okay. And then in the 8th grade, that would have been about 2006. Does that sound right?
Yeah, in 2004, 6th grade, yeah. 2000, yeah.
2 years after 2004. Okay. And in the 8th grade, by this time, had you learned a lot about gangs and in the juvenile detention center?
Yes.
And hand signs of gangs?
Yeah.
And having people staple these little pricks into your body to try to make tattoos and markings on your body?
Yes.
All that happened. And when you got into the 8th grade, do you remember being arrested for firing a weapon, a gun at a party?
Yes.
And you got charged with the crime of aggravated assault. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Also, in the 8th grade, do you remember being arrested for a theft or stealing a lot of laptops from the school? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you went back to the juvenile detention center approximately age 13. Is that fair to say?
I can't really put the numbers with it. I mean, like the timing, but I was in my juvenile life.
Do you remember, if you don't remember, it's fine. Remember being sentenced to a year in the juvenile detention center at that time?
I remember doing a year in juvenile.
Okay. So if we add a year to 2006 in the 8th grade, that would be approximately you were released again in 2007. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And you would have been at that time approximately 14 years of age. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And is that pretty much where it ended for your formal education?
I went to high school.
Mm-hmm.
That what you asked me?
Yeah.
I went to high school.
Okay. Now, in 2007, were you familiar with a place called Jonesboro South?
Yeah.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, what is Jonesboro South to you?
A neighborhood by Cleveland.
And were you aware, and do you remember if Jonesboro South ever closed, meaning shut down?
Yeah.
It's I guess, a housing project. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And the city of Atlanta shut it down, if you know?
I don't know how it got shut down.
Okay. Were you aware they were shut down in year 2007?
No, I don't know when it got shut down.
Do you remember about the age of 14, Jeffrey Williams first coming over to Cleveland Avenue area to live with some family members? You would be age 14.
That could be true. I really don't.
I couldn't hear you. I apologize.
Say that could be true. I really can't put the time.
Okay. Did you know that Mr. Williams came to Cleveland Avenue from the Jonesboro South apartment complex closing? How about that? Were you aware he used to live in Jonesboro South?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you aware of Jeffrey's age compared to your age?
Yeah.
Do you know Jeffrey's date of birth?
Yeah.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury?
August. August 8th.
Okay.
No, I know August 8th.
You said it's in August?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And what year compared to you, if you know?
No. I better know the exact date. I don't know the year.
That's okay. Is Jeffrey approximately a year and a half older than you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you were back living with your grandmother and your 2 brothers, were there times that you were hungry? Did not have enough food?
Yeah.
Okay. And when Jeffrey was living in Cleveland Avenue area with family members, were there times that he did not have food? If you know.
Yeah.
Do you know how many siblings, that means brothers and sisters, that Jeffrey had living with him in Cleveland Avenue area approximately?
Nah, I don't know how many he got though.
How many?
Six girls, 5 boys.
Okay. So 11 total children?
Yeah.
Now, around that time I'm talking about when Jeffrey first comes into Cleveland Avenue area and you're living there with your grandmother, okay? That's the time period I'm focused on, okay? I'd like you to focus on that time. Were there times that there were no utilities in your house, meaning at times there was no electricity or heat, air conditioning, water, things like that? Did that happen?
In my house?
Yeah.
No.
How about Jeffrey's house?
It may could have been.
Were there times that you were hungry and you had no money to buy something to eat?
Yeah, but it was because I ain't want to eat what my grandma had though.
Okay. And did Jeffrey ever share his last dollar with you to split food? Did that ever happen?
I would call McDonald's had a $3 meal. Yeah, we used to pitch in and help out to get that one, the double cheeseburger with $3. Yeah, we used to help out with that.
And you guys would split the meal. Is that fair to say?
Or if somebody had the money, the other person would pay if there was some money. You know, $3.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. We found $3. I mean, we put together $3 to get the McDonald's one.
You took care of each other. Is that fair to say?
Right.
And you and Jeffrey became close at that young age. Is that right?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
You referred to him earlier in your testimony last week as your brother.
Yeah.
Is that how you think of him?
Yeah.
Now, did there come a time that you realized that Jeffrey was very smart? Or is he very smart, in your opinion?
Yes.
And is he artistic? Meaning he's a good drawing?
Yeah.
And he likes fashion?
Yeah.
And he's musically talented. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And you wanted to be a chef, right?
Yes.
Now, watching Jeffrey from the time you met him, how dedicated was he, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, to becoming a musical sensation or artist, popular artist? How hard did he work?
He worked very hard. He worked hard.
Have you ever seen anyone work harder at trying to become something in your whole life than Jeffrey?
I ain't really ever seen anybody trying to become one in my life.
And is it fair to say that Jeffrey had a mission to become a popular rap artist, musical artist?
That's fair.
I couldn't hear you.
That's fair.
Now, when Jeffrey was trying to become an artist and working hard, where would he go, or was it all the time that he was trying to learn how to speak fast, how to rhyme words, what to come up with? Were you there with all that? Were you watching him work?
Say it again?
Yeah.
My bad.
No, it's not fault. Jeffrey was working hard to learn music and how to present. Where was he doing it? Was it in studios, in homes, everywhere, in the street, social media?
I want to say social media. Social media wasn't popular then, but yeah, home, studio, where we hung out at, yeah.
Okay. And do you know who Jeffrey's inspiration was in music?
Yeah.
Tell the jurors.
Lil Wayne.
And tell the jurors about Lil Wayne's music to you. What was it like? What did it convey?
Convey.
That's my fault. Let me ask some bad questions. Why did you like Lil Wayne's music?
I don't know. The cadence.
Okay.
Um,
By the cadence, you mean like the beat?
Yeah, his overall sound, his beat, his lyrics.
And about the lyrics, could you identify with what Lil Wayne was saying about the lyrics?
Could I identify?
Yeah, did that strike you as something that, yeah, I've experienced that, I've seen that? Did he talk about, what did Lil Wayne talk about or sing about or rhyme about?
Growing up in projects and women and drugs.
Stuff that you had some experience with or have observed, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as Jeffrey was trying to promote himself, would you tell, ladies and gentlemen, jury, whether he copied, that's my word, Lil Wayne, tried to be like Lil Wayne?
Yeah.
Did Jeffrey sound like Lil Wayne? His voice and lyrics?
Yeah, he tried not to, but yeah, he did.
I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Did Jeffrey, did Lil Wayne have face tattoos? Do you remember tattoos on his face? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Did Jeffrey eventually get tattoos on his face?
Yes.
Did you get tattoos on your face?
Yes.
Had you ever seen anyone before Lil Wayne in rap who had tattoos on their face, if you know?
I'm just going to play most of this and not interrupt because this guy is good.
They weren't rappers, but they was on a rap song.
Okay. Do you know who the person you're talking about? And if it's just...
I think it's like, they had a song with Jay-Z, Linkin Park.
Okay. When you were growing up, did anyone ever get you any counseling? Did the state or the court or anybody ever get you any type of counseling? Or the police?
Yeah, I got sent to Georgia Regional. I think that's like a counseling facility or something.
Okay. How about after going to Georgia Regional? Anything else?
I had caseworkers and stuff.
Okay. Like social workers?
Yeah, social worker.
Now, growing up in the environment that you grew up in and going through what you went through, would you describe yourself as angry?
Yeah, but I was already angry going into the environment though, about my mom's situation, though. About what happened to my mom.
And I'm sorry. Were you taking any drugs, street drugs, not prescribed by a doctor?
Yeah.
Can you tell, ladies and gentlemen, Joe, what type of drugs you were taking?
Weed, pills, Xanax pills, ecstasy pills, Percocet pills, alcohol. Yeah.
And Jeffrey did drugs with you too, didn't he?
Yes.
Now, if you met Jeffrey approximately 14 and he was about a year and a half older than you, he would have been 16. Does that sound right? About 15 and a half, 16? That's all right. As the years went by, do you remember Jeffrey playing in like 17 and under clubs in the area? And when I say playing, I mean performing music.
Yeah.
I want to talk with you about a gentleman whose name came up to the ladies and gentlemen jury named Quentin Porter. Okay? Fair?
Yeah.
And he was also known as Boo or Big Boo. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And you said that he was older than you, right?
Yeah.
You're older than Jeffrey, right?
Yeah.
And he was like a leader of people in that area. Is that Cleveland Avenue area or Rock Crew? Is that fair to say? People followed him.
Yeah. Yeah. I can get my jacket on cold.
Yeah, you can wear your jacket, sure. And just for the ladies and gentlemen, jury, the young lady who's handing that to the sheriff is your lawyer?
I sustain objection.
What, I ain't supposed to have my J?
So you could share that, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you questions?
Yeah.
Mr. Stevens, who is the young lady who handed the sheriff the jacket?
My attorney, Chrissy Gladden.
Okay. Now, Mr. Porter or Boo, to your knowledge, did he help Jeffrey's career?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He was.
Okay, if the court is in recess all day today, then it will be easier to catch up.
He was like known in Atlanta, and like he was popular in like the Atlanta nightclub scene. So yeah, he often got us in the older clubs and stuff to get
And when you're saying he was popular with the nightclub scene, you're talking about Mr. Porter, Quentin Porter?
Yeah.
And was he instrumental, is my word, that's a bad word. Did he assist getting, if you know, getting Jeffrey to play in these other clubs?
Yeah, assisted in getting us inside the club and the music played.
One more time, can you?
He assisted getting us inside the club and getting the music played.
Okay. And
Okay, I did a fast check, and it is Little Rod's lawyer is sick, so today is cancelled. That's why court today is in recess. So yeah, this is what happens when you have a lot of defendants and all of them have lawyers. If one of them are gone, that's the end of that court day. Yeah, I agree with you. Between being late all the time and all the days and half days off, never seen a jurist time respected less. Yeah, I kind of agree, because it should be the court's responsibility to make this trial as fast as possible and make the prosecution streamline their case. But in this case, today, a lawyer is sick, and then everything is put on a halt.
if you know, did Quentin Porter himself and others, he had put up posters around the neighborhood saying, everybody go to this establishment. Mr. Williams or Jeffrey's going to be, Young Thug's going to be playing, and everybody would come out. Is that true?
Nah, but he told everybody though.
Okay.
If he said something at a party, they helped the party.
One more time.
If Boo said something at a party, they helped the party.
If Boo said,
Like if you promote a party or like saying something about a party, yeah, they help.
okay, so if Mr. Porter or Boo promoted this event
Yeah,
that Jeffrey's playing, people would go. That's
in the
what,
event, yeah,
that's what I heard you say.
yeah.
Okay. And was Jeffrey's music being played locally in the streets? When he was 16, 17 years of age?
Yeah.
And was Mr. Porter or Boo also would bring out a lot of people to watch Jeffrey perform? Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Porter was affiliated, he God forbid is deceased. Is that true? To your knowledge? Is that true?
Yeah.
And he was affiliated with the Bloods. He
Last I heard, there should be 5 or 6 who are scheduled, whose plea deals included testifying, but also I think there are more people who got plea deals without being forced to testify. So, and then a bunch who was just, let's drop the charges. So these 6 are the ones that are left. Unless the court or the prosecution says, nah, we will drop the charges here, there too, but I don't think they will. They will rather have a mistrial, because then they have to get a new jury, which will take 10, 11 months, and these guys will be in jail meanwhile, and maybe cut a plea deal. That's one of the big things the prosecution has done, is drawing everything out. It's one of their tactics. Draw everything out as long as possible so more people get plea deals. For instance, this guy here, he was in jail for a good number of months. He got a lawyer. He racked up a decent bill for lawyers' fees. And that can force a person to just write, okay, I'll sign the damn plea deal because I can't afford to defend myself in court.
And he was affiliated with the Bloods. He talked about himself being a member of the Bloods. Is that true? And Rockford.
That man said, man, Quentin said a lot of things. Boo said a lot of things.
Do you know whether you heard him say that he was part of the Bloods?
Objection.
Or Rockford?
Hold on.
What was the objection?
It was hearsay.
Not for the truth of the matter, sir.
Rephrase your question. Hold on, wait a second. Hold on, just same objection.
Now, when you would go to Jeffrey's shows, would you consider him a great performer? Did he do a great job?
Yeah,
And was it fun watching him perform?
yeah,
Or was it fun being in the audience and watching him perform?
yeah,
A lot of girls,
yes,
and people were drinking at the establishments,
yeah,
and Jeffrey was becoming popular in the area. Is that true?
yeah.
Before Jeffrey started to perform and get a reputation for being a rapper in the area, would you consider him to be shy? Was he shy?
Objection, Your Honor, on
Basis.
generalization, the timeline.
I sustain the objection. You can rephrase Mr. Steele.
Before Jeffrey became popular by performing, was he shy? Was he quiet? How about that?
Objection vague.
I sustain the objection.
How would you consider and describe Jeffrey's demeanor outside?
This lawyer is good. He is giving the answers to the defendants because he knows he will be objected to. But he already fed the answers to the defendant. And now when he gets to the real question, he already knows the answer. This guy is good.
Performing?
No, I feel like he was always thinking.
He's always what?
Thinking.
Yeah. YSL-Slug's grandmother put up 50 grand for his defense. But once you're in jail, this RICO trial started, it's almost 2 years ago now. It's almost 2 years ago. And hearings after hearings after hearings after hearings that lawyer had to be on, you rack up quite a bill very, very fast.
Okay. Do you remember him when he did speak, covering up his mouth or putting his arm around his mouth? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
remember his teeth being, in his opinion, I'm not saying they were, in his opinion, being
Objection,
Unattractive?
that's a speculation.
I sustain the objection.
were his teeth
That's already been testified to by the. No, that was in opening statements. That's not evidence in trial. They have to have foundation for it. Sorry.
perfect like they are today?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, by the time Jeffrey's 20 years old, you're approximately 18.
Yes, 50K in this is like a drop in a pond. But here's something you might not know if you haven't seen my coverage of this trial, the pre-trial motions and everything. The state pays the public defender's office or the public defenders or the contracted defenders a grand total of $15,000. Everything else they have to pay themselves. And then they have to get a private counsel. And $15,000 is for a lawyer. I mean, $15,000. I mean, I won't spit on $15,000. But for 2 years of work, I mean, you get bankrupt. So everything in this trial, the state, in form of the prosecution and the court, has put everything as roadblocks in front of the defense. Now, Jeffrey Williams, young thug, he has money. He hired Mr. Steele. So yeah, and I think the rest of the people in this trial who don't have that money are very happy he has.
Years of age. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And is it fair to say that by that time, Jeffrey is well-known performer on Cleveland Avenue and elsewhere?
By the time I'm 18.
Yeah. Remember Jeffrey putting out mixtapes? I Came From Nothing in 2011. Remember those mixtapes?
I remember I came from nothing this tape, but the exact date that it came out, I don't remember that.
That's okay. But by the time those tapes were coming out, Jeffrey had a good following. Is that fair to say? He was popular.
Yeah.
And he was performing throughout Atlanta. Is that true? Yes?
Yeah.
He was performing South Georgia. Is that true?
Yeah.
In Alabama, right?
Can't remember the exact states, but I know he was performing.
Do you remember Florida and South Carolina?
Oh, I remember Savannah, because they used to always have over the spring break. Savannah used to have, that was a tourist attraction area over the spring break. Peach Cut, Orange Crush.
Do you remember by 2012, the next year? Jeffrey's about 21, you'd be about 19. 2013, Jeffrey's with a record label. You know who Gucci is?
Yeah.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, George, who that is.
Tell,
Who Gucci is.
another Atlanta artist, rap artist.
And do you know if you signed Jeffrey to a record label?
Yes.
And then in approximately 2012, 2013, so Jeffrey would be approximately 21, 22. You'd be about a year and a half under that. Jeffrey was with a gentleman named Brian Williams, Birdman, doing Rich Gang. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I don't know no dates though.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
Do you remember that 2013, 2014?
Yeah, I learned a lot from listening to lead attorney because he did a few interviews about the pre-trial motions where he brought that up as well.
Jeffrey had gigantic hits playing on the radio throughout the world.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'd ask Mr. Steele
Basis?
the question, I just didn't hear it. I couldn't hear him. What date is it?
You can rephrase it, Mr. Steele, or repeat it. Repeat, what's asking you to just repeat it.
Mr. Stevens, by 2013, 2014, do you remember Jeffrey having big hits? Stoner, do you know that song?
Yeah.
Danny Glover, you know that song?
Yes.
Lifestyle, you know that song?
Yes.
Were they all, in your opinion, major hits?
Yes.
Okay. And by that time, Jeffrey is approximately 22, 23. You'd be a year and a half under, so you'd be approximately 2021, something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jingle.
Now, I'm sorry.
No.
No, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No. Cause you keep on saying the 2 year. Every time his birthday change, mine change.
Exactly. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember during that time, 2013, 2014, seeing Jeffrey come up in magazines? People writing about him in Rolling Stone and Complex. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nah, I can't. I don't recall that.
Do you remember him having followers on social media?
Yes. No.
Lots of followers. You remember that?
Yeah.
And during all that time, from when you met Jeffrey to the time we're talking about, we stopped approximately 2013, 2014 for now. How many times did Jeffrey Williams ever commit a crime in support of Rock Crew, to further the interests of Rock Crew? Tell the jury.
I don't recall. I don't recall.
Does that mean no?
Objection, Your Honor.
A standing objection.
How many times has Jeffrey committed a crime? We're going to go up to that year because we're going to keep talking other dates, okay? How many times has Jeffrey committed a crime to further the interests of the YSL gang?
I don't recall. I don't know.
You were committing, and I'm not insulting you.
Right.
I'm not trying to insult you.
Right.
But you were committing crimes during that whole time that you met Jeffrey until we stopped about 2014. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
You were committing crimes such as theft, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Potentially drug dealing. I know that came later, but potentially around the drug dealing. Is that true?
Yes.
Potentially armed robberies. Is that true?
Yeah.
And armed robbery means that not only did you take like my possession, like if I was the person targeted, you took, let's say my watch, but you did it with an offensive weapon, like a knife, a gun, brass knuckle, something like that. You understand that's the term?
Yeah. Well, I ain't robbing nobody though.
Okay, that's why I'm asking you. So it's thefts, fair to say?
Yeah.
True?
Sure.
Okay. And you did that because you wanted instant gratification. You wanted whatever, the laptops, the jewelry, the car, whatever it was. You wanted it right then, right?
I don't know why I did it.
Okay. Now, when you said earlier that in approximately, and if you didn't use this date, that's fine. That's fine. Somewhere around 2012, 2013, 2014, something like that. You wanted to change from identifying as Rock Crew to a new place, YSL. Is that fair to say? You said something like that?
Yes.
And I know the dates are not perfect. And that's you made that clear. No one's trying to trick you. But can you tell in an age or in an event what possible year that was? And if you can't, just say it was around that time. I don't know.
Oh. She I know the date. She told me the date. It was like
You mean in your plea agreement?
no, it was just she said something about October when it happened. I think me and my lawyer went over it. When that statement was made.
Which statement are you talking about?
That you saying that I no longer want to go by Rock Crew.
If that's not what you said, don't worry about what I said. I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
You asked me about the date.
Approximately. If a year, a year or something like that. If you know, and if you don't know, Mr. Stevens, just say,
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you. I know. I remember it was me and my attorney talking about the date that That would probably happen.
All right, let me ask you a different question. Do you remember a gentleman named Javaris Crittenton?
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, who Javaris Crittenton is.
Who he is to me?
One more time.
Who he is to me?
If you know, what did he do for a living? How about that? What was he known for? Did he excel at something?
I'm going to object, foundation.
I have him on cross first.
No, still, I sustain it. You can rephrase it.
Do you know whether he excelled at a sport?
Yes.
What sport?
Basketball.
Okay. And was there ever a time that you found out, whether it's true or not, I don't know, whether you believe that Quentin Porter or Boo, or Big Boo, told Javaris Crittenton that you armed robbed him? Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. And is that the reason, tell the jury, that you wanted to separate from Rock Crew because you wanted to show that you were not happy with Mr. Porter?
Yeah, I object as to ask and answer.
I'm over the objection. I can answer it.
Miss Love really don't
Sir, you can
like.
answer the question.
Miss Love really doesn't like where this cross-examination is moving towards. Even though her direct examination left a lot of things to desire, she knows a good lawyer when she meets one. And Mr. Steele is a great lawyer.
Yeah.
Now, at the time that YSL was the label, the letters, whatever, the term that was chosen, my understanding that you were in a room.
Your Honor, objection is to Mr. Steele's understanding and testifying.
I sustain the objection.
I'm on cross-examination.
So what? You still can't testify, Mr. Steele.
This, I mean, if you listen to how the judge is conducting himself towards the prosecution in front of the jury and how he conducts himself towards the defense in front of the jury, he should be the neutral part, just there for the law and his own discretion in ruling according to the law. But saying "so what" to a lawyer, that's unprofessional, in my opinion.
You were in a room, is that fair to say? It was outside. Was it outside or inside?
What's the start of the question?
When you feel like and you remember that you were going to call yourself YSL, were you inside a building, a room? Were you outside at a park? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember that.
I couldn't hear you.
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember Jeffrey being there?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember Walter Murphy being there?
I already said I don't remember like the time or none of it. The time, no, I don't remember.
And I'm not asking you about the time, but do you recall wearing a belt buckle with YSL on it? You ever wear a belt buckle like that?
Yeah.
Do you recall conversations saying you didn't want to call yourself Rock Crew anymore, and people saying, we're going to say YSL? Remember that on your belt buckle?
Yeah.
And were those people who were there, Jeffrey?
Question.
Is that true? And if you don't remember, just say I don't remember.
But you said at a room, though. I don't remember like the exact place it was happening.
Don't worry about where it was. Wherever it was.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was there. Walter Murphy was there.
Yeah.
Was Mr. Crenshaw there?
Crenshaw?
Mondo?
Nah.
Mondo. That's fine. All right. Now, Jeffrey, or you, knew that Lil Wayne he would sing about like a record label. Do you know that? Cash Money, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And during that conversation, was Jeffrey, tell the jury, was Jeffrey looking for a logo, a record label to sing about, even though he didn't have one?
Yeah.
And it was decided YSL, and you had decided, I'm not rock crew anymore, right?
Right.
Now, I want to talk with you about your incarcerations since you've known Jeffrey, okay? Since you've known Jeffrey, you were charged with crimes in 2014, is that true?
Yeah.
2015, is that true?
Yeah.
And then this indictment, 2022, does that sound right?
Right.
If I left anything out, correct me, and there may be a couple of different crimes in those years, but those are basically the years, is that true?
Right.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, since you knew Jeffrey Williams, and since he was popular and had money, you know he has money, right?
Yeah.
Tell ladies and gentlemen, jury, in 2014, how much money he gave towards your attorney fees.
No.
2015, tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, how much money Jeffrey Williams paid towards your attorney fees.
No.
When you got arrested on this case, charging you as a co-indictee, that's a bad word. That's a bad word. Forget that. Charging you. Give me 1 second, okay? Your Honor, may I approach?
You may, sir.
Oh, yeah, we skipped a bit yesterday after the
Your Honor, may I approach?
Lawrence
Yes,
Stewart's
may I approach you,
court
sir?
feed was.
I'm showing you what's already been marked and entered. Says,
After we ended yesterday, because Lawrence Seward's stream went down because of copyright strike, we skipped the final part of direct examination because it was worthless, and there were another one sidebar counter. So we are still on day 15, and we are currently up to 49 sidebars. This wasn't a sidebar, this was just him approaching.
State's Exhibit 23UU. I'm just moving the first page. You can look at the first page. And the second page, you can look at the second page. So the 6th page I'm showing you of that document. You can look at the whole thing, but are you familiar with the indictment in this case that you pled guilty to in count 1?
Yes.
Okay. And Jeffrey's also named in that same indictment, fair to say?
Yes.
When you voluntarily turn yourself into custody, right? No one, am I right?
Yes.
Voluntarily turn yourself in, just explain that to the jury. Tell them what that means.
I got some phone calls from like family members saying that my name was on the news for my indictment, and my grandma helped me get a lawyer, and I turned myself in.
Okay. You came to the court, the jail, somewhere, and you said, I understand there's a warrant. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, to the jail.
And you came with a lawyer.
Yes.
You just said your grandmother paid.
Yeah.
Did Jeffrey Williams, tell ladies and gentlemen, jury, in any way assist you in any way with any finances?
No.
When you said that you are a founder, when it's been testified to, of YSL, how much money have you ever made from Jeffrey Williams?
No.
He has never made money from being around Jeffrey Williams. That's the state's witness. The state is trying to prove that they were co-conspirators in this criminal enterprise to blah, blah, blah. And here he is saying, no, he didn't make money out of Jeffrey.
Now, when you were arrested excuse me, when you turned yourself in and you had a lawyer, tell the ladies and gentlemen, the jury, who that lawyer was, who your original choice of lawyer was.
Thomas Flugan.
And how much money did your grandmother pay to Thomas Flugan to represent you on this case?
$50,000.
Was that a large sum to your grandmother?
Yes.
And Thomas Flugan is not the young lady who handed you the jacket, right?
Right.
Tell ladies and gentlemen, jury, what happened to your representation with Mr. Flugan.
Mr. Flugan told me that he had to withdraw because his wife caught cancer and he was going to have to be with her at the beginning of this trial.
What happened? How did you get the Honorable Miss Christy Gladden to represent you? Can you tell ladies and gentlemen, jury, how that happened?
Thomas gave us half the money back. We paid him. And Miss Gladden was my attorney for when I went to prison. So I reached out to her because I knew she knew me.
A lawyer paid back. Did you hear that? His lawyer paid back.
Now, when you were, after you turned yourself in with your lawyer, were you able to secure a bond? You know what I mean by bond?
Yeah.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, what bond is.
When you've been charged with something and you get a bond, bail.
Okay. So, do you remember the date, or approximate date you turned yourself into custody on this case?
I think like it was May. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay. May 2022.
Yeah.
And then in front of you, you were released after you took a plea agreement, right? You were released, you went home, right?
Yes.
And that was approximately December 29th, 2022.
I remember it being December.
You can look at the second page of the document that's in front of you. I think the other way. So, yes. Should have a date on it. It should be. And look at it. Make sure you know.
Yeah.
Intermission here. I will keep going until noon. Then we are going to switch over to another trial. It's the Jodi Arias trial. I will be transferring you all over there. And tomorrow, then we will continue with this tomorrow. If there is no court date tomorrow, or no court tomorrow because of a lawyer being sick, we will be checking in on District Attorney Fannie Willis, because there has been, in another RICO trial, there has been a filing regarding her and the special prosecutor against former President Trump, which alleges that DA Willis and the special prosecutor is having intimate relations. So she appointing him as a special prosecutor on that case is against the rules. So we will be covering that tomorrow if there is no court date tomorrow as well. If there is court date tomorrow, we will just continue and we will pick that story up on Friday. But Ms. Willis' political campaign to become the Attorney General might have just been coming to a grinding halt. And that can have implications on this trial as well.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
May I approach you, Honor?
You may, sir.
Thank you. May I approach you, sir?
I see my birthday. You don't see it?
It's okay. May I come up closer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed. He can't read upside down. That's a neat little trick I learned a number of years ago, to read upside down. Because many of the people who I do my negotiations against don't know that. Haha. So yeah, it's always interesting to see people with their notes up, and I can read upside down. That's a good little trick.
See, December 29, 2022.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk with you. You spoke a lot with the district attorney about your guilty plea being freely and voluntarily. Remember all those questions?
Yeah.
And you remember that nobody coerced you. Do you know what coerced means, sir?
I mean, I know what direction.
Nobody had like a gun to your face to make
Yeah.
you. Is that true? No one forced you, right?
Right.
Okay. But I want to discuss with you what was going on around December 29, 2022 when you entered that guilty plea, okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. You had been in custody, that means without a bond, for approximately 7 months. Does that sound right? Let's do it differently. May, you turn yourself in, right?
Mm-hmm.
In June, you're in jail?
Mm-hmm.
July, you're in the Fulton County Jail, correct? True?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
August? September 2022?
Mm-hmm.
October 2022? True?
Mm-hmm.
November 2022? And most of December 2022. So approximately 8 months. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how many children you have.
I got 3 boys.
And can you give your ages? Their ages.
2 8-year-olds and a 12-year-old.
And during the time that you're in jail, who are they staying with?
Their mother.
And how many mothers do the 3 children have?
I mean, most.
Yeah.
Oh, they each have their own mother.
Okay. And who was helping out? Well, you're in jail for approximately 7 or 8 months. Were you able to help out financially or emotionally any of your children?
No.
When you were in jail for approximately 7, 8 months, were you able to help out emotionally or monetarily any of your children's mothers?
No.
And your lawyer, the Honorable Ms. Gladden, do you remember when you hired her to be your lawyer?
Not exact date.
Let me show you what I'll mark as Mr. Williams' number 16, and I'll fill in the others. May I approach, sir?
Yes, you may, sir.
May I approach you? Steve? I'm going to show you what I've marked as Mr. Williams' number 16. Tell me if you recognize that document and if it helps you to remember the date that Ms. Gladden became your lawyer.
You want me to read it?
To yourself, you can read it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The date on it.
Okay, that helps you? Do you recognize that document?
Yeah.
Here, I'll move for the admission of Mr. Williams, number 16.
Your Honor, I ask how you recognize it.
Yeah, lay a little more foundation, Mr. Steele. I'll sustain the objection.
Do you recognize that document?
Yeah. I'll read it.
Said twice, Your Honor, yes.
Your Honor, I ask how. So the objection was foundation. How does he recognize it?
Sustain the objection.
Okay, how do you recognize that document?
I read it. You just told me to read it in my head.
Okay, and is it from your lawyer? Ms. Gladden?
Yeah. Yeah.
And does it say that she's your lawyer?
Objection, Your Honor. The foundation has come from a witness, and this recitation of what may or may not be on the document does not form the proper foundation
Why is she allowed to do speaking objections? Judge.
for his knowledge of that document.
Can I see the document, please? Chris, you got it.
Mr. Pineapple.
Mr. Steele, I'm gonna stand the objection as to form, or should say foundation, but I believe you can lay a little foundation. He knows what the basis of that particular document is.
What date did you hire Miss Gladden, approximately?
Do I look from the paper or from my
Help
notes?
to refresh your memory, you can, but then testify as to what you know.
Um,
This lawyer is good at least trying to guide YSL-Slug, while the prosecution was just interested in being a lawnmower all over him. Didn't explain anything, just went up on her high horse and spoke down.
so, I don't read the paper, say it's an entry.
No, you, when you're finished with the document, put it down and then you can testify from it, okay? Testify to your memory at that
Oh,
point, okay?
no, I don't remember the date that she,
Approximately how long before you entered your plea on December 29, 2022 was Miss Gladden your lawyer?
I know I hired her in December and entered my plea in December too.
So a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
All right. And do you know how much you paid Miss Gladden to represent you on this case?
Objection, notice.
Goes,
I won't rule the objection, Ms. Love. Go ahead, sir. You can answer the question, sir.
Right. Now, because my grandma, I don't know how much she paid her.
do you know if Miss Gladden works with a big law firm or is she a solo lawyer?
I think her firm named after her. Her firm is named after her, so I think she got a firm.
And does she handle other cases?
Yeah.
And do you know that from coming to court, you know, the length of this case was estimated by the district attorney to be a year trial. You were aware of that?
Yes.
And you knew from
Yeah. Here's the thing. When that's what she estimated, then the judge said 6 months. And then in between December of 2022 and November of 2023, they went from 79 witnesses to 737. And he entered his plea deal in December of 2022. So she claimed in December that this was going to be a year-long trial with 79 witnesses. Ta-da!
money that your grandmother paid, if you know the exact amount. If you don't, that's fine. Did you believe that Miss Gladden was going to represent you on that trial for you?
Objection, Your Honor, compound.
I stand the objections to form. You can break it down, Mr. Steele.
How much discovery were you provided in this case? District Attorney's Office.
I remember going over it in the iPad with me while I was in court. While I was sitting in court.
Remember hearing 8 terabytes of discovery?
I remember the word to everybody.
Okay. And do you remember you could not get out on a bond?
Yes.
And you just missed Christmas? Is that true? When you entered this plea?
Yeah.
And the prosecution came to you and said you can get out of jail immediately if you enter this guilty plea with conditions. Is that true?
Oh,
I ain't say immediately, but they said I can get out of jail though.
Didn't you get out the same day you entered that guilty plea?
Yeah.
Speak up, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, in the Fulton County Jail, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury about the food.
Mm-hmm. No, I ain't really eat it. Ain't noodles and stuff and tuna. But it's bad though.
While you were in the Fulton County Jail, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury about people getting killed in the jail.
Yeah, I was hearing about people dying. Yeah.
Yeah, Fulton County Jail.
While in the Fulton County Jail, how many times?
About a month ago, I think we went through a bit on Fulton County Jail, and approximately 10 people die in Fulton County Jail every year. Or not just 9 people have died in that jail. It's 9 people, 9, 10. I mean, some years it's 5, some years it's 20, but people get actively killed in Fulton County Jail.
Times you were able to go outside in those 7 to 8 months?
So the gym got windows, but you don't go outside though.
I couldn't hear you.
You don't go outside.
And is it fair to say, Mr. Stevens, the way you were living, there was urine? True? In the Fulton County Jail?
Mr. Stevens, pull the mic in front of your face so we can all hear you, okay? Speak in the microphone.
Yes.
There was feces. There was people's bowel movements.
Yeah, from the toilet, yeah.
How about outside the toilet?
They got a toilet. Yeah, that type stuff going on, yes.
Okay. Vomit.
Yeah, it was some vomit.
You were living in filth. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it was pretty filthy.
And you did have access
Thank
to
you for being here.
TV at times, right?
Yes.
But sometimes there was no TV, right?
Yes.
And physical contact, like where we can shake hands with your family members, your children. Tell the ladies and gentlemen jury how many times that happened during those 7 or 8 months.
No.
And you were able to speak with friends or family on a video, audio, or a telephone line. Is that true?
Yes.
Between certain hours.
Yes.
Right? On certain days of the week, right?
Yes.
And when you were on, let's say, the video, audio, it's a little screen, like an iPad, I guess, right?
Yes, yeah.
But there's people around who can watch and overhear you. Is that true?
Yes.
It's not very private, right?
Yes.
Same thing with the recordings, the jail calls. You can make a jail call to someone at the jail phone, rather, from the jail, but also there's people around, right?
Yes.
And the video, audio are recorded, right? You know that.
Yes.
And the jail calls are recorded, the telephone calls, right?
Yes.
So there's not much private conversation with your family or friends. Is that true?
Yes.
You lost employment opportunities, right?
Yeah, I wasn't employed before I went to jail. I wasn't.
And then when you were given this plea offer to get out of jail, I know that no one coerced you, that's forced you, put a gun to your face, God forbid. And you keep saying it's freely and voluntarily made, but it's under those conditions, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you did not plead guilty, you were facing 20 years in prison on count 1, RICO, right?
Yes.
You were also a recidivist, which means that you would serve every single day of the sentence, the longest possible sentence. You realize that?
Yes.
So when the district attorney asks you, is it freely and voluntarily made and no one put a gun to your face, except those are my words, it has to be put in context, right? You wanted to go home, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, in your plea agreement, I'm going to show it to you. Can I approach?
For me, this is excellent cross-examination. He gets every piece of information he wants out. Does it work with the jury? It's a completely different story.
I see something in the statute. Okay.
I mean, the lawyer is respectful. He tries to be as clear as possible. He explains things. He's good. He's really good.
Now, Mr. Stevens, if you testify something contrary to what you signed on December 29, 2022 in this plea agreement, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what could happen to you.
If I testify something,
So let me change it. Do you mind if Your Honor, may I withdraw the question?
You may, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, I apologize, that was a bad question. If you were to say something under oath today or Friday or not Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, or tomorrow, that is different than what you agreed to on December 29, 2022, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what can happen to you upon motion of the district attorney.
I can have my probation revoked.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how long that probation is for.
8 years.
And tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it means to have probation revoked.
That you will no longer be on probation and that you'll have to serve that time in prison.
Now, when you were going through this factual acknowledgement, on page 4 or 5.
16 uniform.
Now, may I approach you with a copy of 16 uniform?
You may, sir.
Approach you, sir.
Yes.
I'm showing you, you can look at the whole document if you need, but I'm at 4 or 5. You see where I get that?
Yes.
Okay. And it's number 5 is kind of in the center of the page. See where it says defendant sentencing acknowledgements?
Yes.
Read, if you don't mind, or I can read it if you'd rather. Make sure I read it correctly though. Read number 1, then number 2, and number 3 slowly and speak to the jury.
I understand if I violate this plea agreement, the district attorney can and will use this statement during any judicial proceeding. I understand that if I violate any portion of this plea agreement before, during, or after the initial trial of this case, I am subject to having the entirety of my sentence revoked to prison. I understand that any violation of this plea agreement may result in my entire sentence being revoked and the district attorney, excuse me. I understand that any violation of this plea agreement may result in my entire sentence being revoked, and the district attorney will recommend that I serve up to the maximum sentence allowed by law in Georgia Department of Correction prison.
For context, this guy, he works night shift. So it's more or less coming in directly from work to testify. And then when court's done for the day, he goes back to work.
Now, I want to go over that plea agreement as well. If you would, Your Honor, approach,
You may, sir.
on 16U. Touch this.
I'm not a
It's on
big
page
fan of
205.
this plea
Again, that from
agreement
here.
because
It's on number 4. You see what it says defendant.
plea agreement isn't as bad as prison snitches, but I generally don't like it. Sweden, they are talking about starting to use that as well as anonymous witnesses. That's a hot pile of garbage. Because in our foundational laws, it is you get to face your accusers. But the government of Sweden wants to get anonymous witnesses because of threats. As in, a cop can testify under a pseudonym, behind a sheet. And for me, that's not okay. Not okay anywhere. That's communist bullcrap.
And it's factual acknowledgements. You see that? Read, if you don't mind, to the jurors factual acknowledgement number 1.
Young Slime, like aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signal, and terminology who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL.
In number 1, when the district attorney, who prepared that document, by the way? When I say that document, 16 years.
Excuse me. I don't know.
Okay. In number 1, does it say anything about Jeffrey Williams doing anything to promote the interests of the gangs on what you just read?
No.
Number 2, read it to the jury.
Defendant is one of the founding members of Young Slime.
Number 3.
Defendant committed aggravated assault as alleged in Act 1 by brandishing a gun at an undercover police officer that was surveilling a vehicle that was hijacked from a woman.
Nothing to do with Mr. Jeffrey Williams, right?
Right.
Number, I think we're up to 4.
Mr. Steele, tip my hat. He is going to go through the plea agreement and have Mr. Slug say on every count that Mr. Williams had nothing to do with it.
In October of 2014, defendant was arrested with a red bandana and defendant was observed with a YSL tattoo and a Cleveland Air Rock Crew tattoo amongst other tattoos.
Okay. Number 5.
When asked by law enforcement about defendant's YSL and Rock Crew tattoos, defendant truthfully advised law enforcement that defendant is a member of a gang called Rock Crew, but the group is no longer going by that name and now goes by YSL, which originally stood for Young Slime Life.
Okay. Has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams involved in furthering the interests of a gang, does it?
No.
Okay. Number 6.
Defendant advised law enforcement that YSL originally stood for Young Slime Life, but the group began calling itself Young Successful Lifestyle after Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, signed a record deal.
Jeffrey was becoming very
Please
successful.
hit that thumbs up. I think I deserve it.
Number 7.
The statements defendant made to the police about Rock Crew and YSL are reflected in Section 3 and Section 4 above and are true and accurate.
Nothing about Jeffrey furthering the interests of any gang, right?
No.
Okay. Number 8.
Defendant has been accused of and arrested for robbing women.
Okay. Number 9.
Defendant is the person referred to as Tick in the song by Young Thug entitled Ill in the verse She Getting Robbed by Tick.
And ooh is EWW. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
You know that song?
Yes.
Okay. And when were you charged with robbing a woman? Do you remember the date? Over 2014, you remember?
Yeah, my attorney just told me that, yeah.
And you saw some documents
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah.
Were you aware that WHO was created in the spring of 2014?
I ain't know. I don't know.
Because you're not with Jeffrey when he's doing all that work, are you?
No.
You help me here, but I believe it's number 10. And if I'm wrong, just correct me.
Yeah, number 10. On February 4th, 2021, defendant participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associate Wendy Lee, aka Slime Like Charlotte, and Jeffrey Williams stated YSL with the word kid. Y'all just started bringing me the money. Man, y'all stop playing with me.
I want to show you, if you don't mind. Look at your indictment. Let me get you the page. What date was that, Mr. Stevens, on number 10?
February 4th, 2021.
Is that over at 127? If you don't know, that's fine.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Do me a favor. In that same document that's in front of you, the bigger document, and remind me of that number on it, the exhibit number.
Um, 23. Yeah, you.
Okay. And if you could turn to over at 127 of that indictment. Do you know how to do that?
Turn to page 127.
No. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may, sir.
No, if I just got to take it for a second. So this
Oh,
is,
all right. I see the number. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
127. And just tell, ladies and gentlemen, what page that is of that indictment, please.
Now,
Yeah,
you ready now?
please.
Oh, page 47.
I'm going to show you what I've already shown to the Honorable District Attorney, what I'm marking as Mr. Williams number 17.
70.
Second. May I approach, sir?
You may, sir.
Mr. Stevens, do me a favor. I'm not showing to jurors on purpose. I'm not trying to be rude, but just do me a favor. Just make sure that this is the same thing verbatim so the jurors can then see it. And verbatim their word. Make sure that what I'm showing you is Mr. Williams number 17 is what's written in number 127. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move for purposes of demonstrative, Mr. Williams number 17.
Any objection to defendant 17?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defendant 17 is admitted for demonstrative use.
Your Honor,
Probably should see fit.
and may I use that easel if you don't mind, Your Honor?
Which one?
Behind Mr. Stevens.
You may, sir.
Mr. Stevens, I'm putting this behind you, but you can use, we can move that if you want, or you can use the exact indictment, okay? This way the jurors can see it too, okay? Now, in your plea agreement, may I approach one more time?
You may.
Can I see your plea agreement for 1 second? May I?
Well, yeah, no.
I'll give it a second.
Hey.
And this is number 10 in the plea agreement, okay? If I'm wrong, just correct me. All right, now, I'd like to show, you're familiar where this comes from, this excerpt comes from, aren't you?
Yes.
And this is a chat, right? This is a private chat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And is it on Instagram?
Yes.
And you're in that group chat or along with Mr. Williams and other people, fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And the prosecutor put in a part of that chat. Do you remember seeing that this morning?
Yeah.
And that was not the entirety of the chat, was it? What the prosecutor put in?
She did show me. It was, and she showed me. I don't think she showed y'all. I don't know.
Okay, do you remember it being 25 UB? Wait, I'm wrong, not 25 UB.
I don't know.
Regardless, I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you the chat. Tell me if you recognize it.
Every thumbs up or even a thumbs down helps this channel, so it gets through the YouTube algorithms. So I would greatly appreciate if you click down there and press that thumbs up for me. Thank you.
Peek at that.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Mr. Williams number 2. Take a peek at that. Tell me if you recognize that. It should be a 2-page document.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move.
Yes.
I heard you. And thank you, sir. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams number 2.
No objection at all.
All right. And witness 2 is admitted, maybe publish as you see fit.
Thank you, Mr. Kokomo. It should come up on your screen, but you can use it right in front of you, okay, Mr. Stevens?
Hey, I'm Bronze Aussie Laura, member for 2 months. Hey, and you can chat. Hey, yes, if you think my channel is worth $3 a month, you can become a member, and you get access to all my members-only content, which is stuff about my farm, the renovations on the house, and stuff like that. And you also get access to my Discord. So, but no rush. Watch my content. I have loads of it. And if you think, yeah, I can do that, you're very, very welcome to do so. The memberships is what keeps this channel afloat, so I can pay the bills for the channel. Thank you.
Kokomo must be having a little difficulty. Let me ask for court permission if you want to publish it. I'll just show you Mr. Williams number 3 while he's doing it, okay? May I put you on?
You may, sir.
Tell me whether you recognize that mark at Mr. Williams number 3. You recognize what that is?
Yes.
Okay, and does it accurately depict a screenshot?
Your Honor, before getting into that, I object and ask that the witness testifies how he recognizes it.
I stand as the form. You lay some more foundation, sir.
That part of the chat?
Yes.
Okay. And I know it's a piece of paper, but is that a screenshot of what was attached to the chat?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I will move for admission number 3 of Mr. Williams.
Any further objection, madam?
I don't know that he testified that it's an accurate and depiction, so I'd ask for more foundation delay.
I think he testified it's accurate of what
No,
was.
you didn't ask him that.
Is it an accurate depiction of a screenshot of what was attached to the chat that we're talking about?
Yeah, accurate depiction.
Okay, these are bad words. Is it accurate as to what was attached to the February 4th, 2021 chat as an attachment?
I don't know if this is the exact picture, but this is what we were talking about.
Okay. All right, and I'll show you the exact picture, okay?
Mhm.
Your Honor, with that, I'll show him the exact picture.
I'll show it to him. See, you continue to lay your foundation.
Can you do it? I'm sorry?
Hold on a second, Mr. Steele. I'm trying to be. All right, try now, sir.
what's up on the screen is now Mr. Williams number 2. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll just start at the top of this page. Do you see the page number on Mr. Williams number 2, what it says on the right-hand side?
Yes.
But just to announce it, just so we know that we're looking at the same thing.
Number 2.
On the screen.
Oh, yeah, it say 1603.
Okay, and then do you see the very top, it says author. Do you see that what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is underscore all hundreds.rel, if you remember?
Yes.
Who is that?
A guy from the neighborhood named Real.
Name what?
Real.
Red?
Real. Real.
Real. Okay. Red. R-E-L.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what was the date this was sent? Do you see the next line?
So March the 2nd, 2021.
Okay. Could you, and it's fine. But could it be February 3rd, 2021?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just reading left to right.
Okay. Now, and the next line, it says body. You see that?
Yes.
And what is body, if you know, in this type of chat? Okay.
Thing like the subject or something.
Okay. And what does it say?
I like fitting.
Do you know what the rectangles are next to it by any chance signify?
No.
That's okay. And then the next author, 120 with 2 Y's. You see that?
Yes.
And then that's sent the same date,
Yes.
2/3/21.
Yes.
And then it says Floyd got him beat. You see that?
Yes.
Do you know what that's referring to?
Yes.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen jury.
I think 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather was talking about fighting. So
One more time.
I think entertainers 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather were talking about fighting.
Okay. And Floyd Mayweather is what is he?
A boss.
All right. Next one is again, plenty. You see that with the 2 Y's?
Yeah.
And you see the
Yeah, part of that chat message was the prosecution trying to indicate that they were talking about the YSL gang banging someone up or punching or fighting. When you read the entire chat, it's about a Floyd Mayweather match.
date again, the same date.
Yes.
And then the body, you don't have to use the curse word or the N word, but you see what it says, this S, mom, kids. So I hope N ain't going outside and talking. I can't speak for the other chat because I'm not on it. I'm glad you good slap. You see that?
Yeah.
And you know what that's about.
I don't know.
Who are mom's kids?
Huh?
Who are mom's kids?
That's the name of the group chat.
Okay. The next one is, you see where it says young ZU?
Yes.
Okay, you know who that is?
Yes.
Who is that?
Another guy from the neighborhood.
Okay, you see the same date?
Yes.
And then young sent an attachment. You know what that means?
That you sent an attachment?
Yeah. Tell ladies and gentlemen jury what that means.
I mean, someone sent a picture.
Okay. Then the next one is, again, young ZU. You see the same date?
Yes.
And then will you do this is what's written, right?
Yes.
And then the next author is you, correct? _1slug?
Yes.
And it's the same date?
Yes.
And you see what you wrote?
Yes.
And tell the ladies and gentlemen jury what you wrote and what you're talking about, if you remember.
Let's see, posted in the other chat. He's saying something.
He's
I really don't know something.
Okay. Is Gus a person?
Yes.
Okay. And you wrote that, say he saw it in the other chat, he's seen it himself, right?
Hmm.
You're talking about seeing some picture or item?
Yeah.
All right. The next one is from Gutta, 1_. You see that?
Yes.
And he's responding to you. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And what did he say?
So somebody told him I only sent the video in the other chat.
Okay. Do you remember what video he's talking about?
Oh, no, I think they talking about, I ain't sure though, but I think they talking about somebody slept with somebody's girlfriend. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's what it was going though.
Okay. The next one is, the author is Booley, Y1. You see that?
Yeah.
Now we're on the next day. You see that 2/4/21?
Yes.
Okay. And then you see what it says, date created, it says unknown.
Yeah.
And above that it says body, Instagram user sent an attachment.
Yeah.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, is it the same attachment you just said, like a picture?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it says underneath that, you see where it says under text, T-E-X-T, you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And it says yo at Little Uzi Vert. You see that?
Yeah.
Do you know who Little Uzi Vert is?
Yes.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury.
Entertainer, rap artist.
Okay. And do you see the next one, URL?
Yes.
It gives an Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is author 4KK. You see that?
Yes.
And you see it's the same date of February 4th, 2021?
Yes.
And what did he write?
This real?
Okay. I want you to think about it. Do you know what he's referring to?
Yeah.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury, what Forte is talking about.
He sent, he was talking about an image of the Lil Uzi Vert. He had implanted a diamond in his forehead, and he was asking, did anyone know if it was real or not?
Yeah, during direct examination, prosecutor indicated that what was spoken there was the claim is Mr. Williams, young thug, put out a hit on somebody. What they were actually talking about was another rapper who put a diamond on his forehead, a pink diamond. There's pictures of it. I don't show it because it's a bit it's a little gory, but yeah, it's a rapper who implanted a diamond on his forehead.
The next one, again, is Forte. You see that?
Yeah.
And it's the same date of February 4th, 2021. You see that, sir?
Yes.
And then the body, that N, Uzi Crazy, and then the rectangles.
Yeah.
F it, I guess, when it's up, it's up. You see something like that?
Yeah.
All right. The next one is, again, under underscore all hundreds, rel. Dated the same date. That boy take a punch in the head, it's over. You see that?
Yes.
And what, if you remember, is that referring to?
The diamond implanted in his forehead.
And whose forehead?
Uzi Vert.
Okay. And the next one again is 4KK. You see that?
Yes.
And the next one is same date is all hundreds. You see that?
Yes.
And then you see what it says in the body?
Yes.
What does it say?
The proof sent and attachment.
Okay. Is that the same thing, a picture or video?
Yeah.
All right. On the next page, you see on the upper right corner what page number that is?
Yeah.
You see where it says, what page number is that, sir?
1604.
Okay. And then you see under the text?
Yes.
And what does it say?
It's a competition now. Tory Lanez just got a 87 billion piece put onto his forehead now.
And who is Tory Lanez?
Not a rap artist.
And what is your group referring to in this?
That he supposed to put a diamond in his forehead, implant in his forehead.
Mr. Steele, can I ask you to pause just a second? Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a break? Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a break. Plan on coming back right before 4:00, and then I'll let you know what the rest of the day will lead for you. Okay? All right. So remember my a little before 4:00. Okay? All right.
All right, that was part 1 of the cross-examination. And what will happen now is, if the lawyer is sick today, so there was no court day today, there's a high chance same will happen tomorrow. And so we will continue with this tomorrow. I will be sending you over to me and Dave over at Making Law Simple Network, where we are covering the Jodi Arias trial from 2013. And that trial has all the words. If you don't remember the Jodi Arias trial, she offed her ex-boyfriend with pew-pew and stabby-stabby really, really severely, and then claimed first to the police that she was never there. Then she claimed she was there, but unknown assailant broke in and offed him and threatened her. But in trial, she said it was self-defense because every piece of evidence, yeah, she's not doing good. So we are now on, Jodi Arias is on the stand, and she's not doing good. She's doing really, really bad. That stream will start on the top of the hour at noon Eastern time. So you will have 8 minutes. Go have a snack, a cup of coffee, bathroom break. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And we will continue this tomorrow. And if there is no court date tomorrow, we will continue with the cross-examination. And then we will go into the very interesting thing with District Attorney Fannie Willis, who, according to a court filing, has had improper relations with the special prosecutor in the Trump case. So that will be interesting. Tomorrow we will start at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will start at 10 a.m. Eastern. I don't have Jodi stream tomorrow, so that will be a continuous stream with first a cross-examination, and then we are going into what the actual District Attorney Fannie Willis is actually up to. Because if what is alleged in that court filing is correct, then Miss Willis might be subject to a RICO trial herself. That's interesting. I will see you all over at the Jodi Arias stream in about hold on, in 7 minutes. I will, just in case, I will post the link in the chat as well. Here it is. I will post it over at Rumble as well. Thank you over at Rumble for being here. And I will see you in a few minutes because I need to use the big boys room as well. All right. Thank you all. See you in 7 minutes. Bye-bye.